say a mema warrior castle beer than a year one uncle 76%. Umbeja school, communim so any class our report no so.
Make the mini family home, then I make an family home, man said down family, but the money family home say. It shouldn't be a situation where the person will be forced to have sex. Or where the sex should be a demand, a sexual demand.
Yeah.
So my company be my bam media house say me person name ye juma. Me was similar case be o me person me share one asem ka. My company be a media house be ni omo ko ye juma. Lawyer me hino afu we do a general manager ne dey sex tata me na afia na maba me be meeting na then sex we be. I am not here for sex. My year program is Masati program, and you only say it's fun. Say me need to connect them. Me here 3-4 shows to pay email free, which is okay. It can be so many reasons. A beautiful show. So the whole thing is that because they could have removed me for all the reasons, but because there is an incident of a sexual demand, so I'll base my way on it. That is why when you have a position, don't go beyond what you are supposed to
Radio
do.
XYZ.
Come on, back one can if I couldn't share my baby. So go elsewhere and look for sex or look for love. But why if it's confined in one place? I tell back. Okay. In free yeah, frame
Radio XYZ.
We apart from lawyer Merohinowa afọ. Obie ni wa yakayaka de ho stem eda na koma so sen. Madam Master.
Yes, that's it. I don't think that you bought Plumano Pewa Sumi. Best Nansan Sunni, I don't know as a bad video no one about quadruple. Enra dear, and as a bear Nansan Nesu dear, a Kumase, KNUST, senior high school. Na headmaster, and school near Koda office. We cry in charge of academics. Na ye fondo anase yes so akoda ni mu ni ade. GS de krataba say no mu code of ethics no nti umayi no anase ye hwehwe na semu. Ade a chen fofo asapie. Ase ya e too many ana.
Professor Sansam ne de ye be koso anya cases we see all the time. Because the issue of sexual harassment in school, there is no book. Also, syllabus now. There is no abuse book on Sanyama we curriculum, syllabus or whatever. In sexual harassment from 2016 or so. I became a lawyer in 2010. So 2016 or so, and I started doing this advocacy in schools. Now. GS na name ye juma all the time, and na my you book different. Say a bear cry. Who say me name produce and kata? Na me can say if politicians or governments do not intervene, we are going to have a lot of such cases because I just say normal. Says a teacher or headmaster and students ebeda. I am normal because there is no punishment for the perpetrators. Only a code of conduct. Then on
Radio XYZ.
should not sleep with. What is there in the code of conduct? It looks like all the sexual winning and it is committed by men. And if our men are the leaders, who is going to ensure that these things people are punished for that? No one. Who can even report a headmaster or a teacher?
Radio XYZ.
And there's no abuse book in the system. Me family the abuse book by GS that's a Minister of Education 2023. The teachers don't even know these laws. The teachers don't know. And if the teachers don't know, then come on. And for us lawyers, these matters are matters for the police. Matters for the police. You don't make any money from this. So maybe for all these years to ensure we get these knowledge in the book, even for the teachers, NTT for Mohammed,
Radio XYZ.
And some they are framing you. Me catch them producer to say me my poor me. They be call they two of near tunani. Teachers ne lecturers any they can win now compare Juma be me cram me lawyer me no happen no prano. Me cram for your me. You go somewhere and they put sex on the table. You do it or you don't do it. If they say, what do we do? What do we do? We don't know what to do. If
Radio
the Ministry
XYZ.
of Education, because we have the Ghana Education Service, almost a separate entity. But we have if it is not a political intervention, you can't tell me, I say, if anything, Minister of Education or current one, in my family books, because I say, my break. Catch a producer, I say, my break. You know what is tired? Because these are laws in our books. The teachers don't know, headmasters don't know, circuit supervisors don't know. It's just a way for guidance and counseling for they are not lawyers. And a girl child for they are not lawyers. It's doctor for so they are not lawyers. They go there and they even will tell you that they will frustrate you more. So the problem is if you are not feed a benam radio station, never
XYZ. XYZ. Yeah.
Even a benam XYZ. If you cannot come chief of staff when you maybe a lawyer him for money me for not ya say in now we still about to be too big a camp the room one for layer. Otherwise, we are going to have a generation where these things are going to go on and on and on. Me, I don't have a problem. Say teacher, any Akwalabe agree to have sex. Once the child is 16 years and above, a man who can say, or yes, sex. Or prince so be sex and then force a rape. Once you are 16 years and above, the law gives you the permission to have sex. But if the child is below 16 years, she needs sometimes say only whatever. Fear do or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for a program, I say only nenda. What's yam racket? You take a secondary school. You come to a program. Hey, it's a 14 for almost sex 12, 11. So if we don't focus on, otherwise, some of these things that we are here for, so no much.
And cancer now in this case, you know, say
second coming.
Radio XYZ.
Because gender-based violence, Papa John Mahama, Eberman and Yako, Kolani Gusu, Yoma Yakayaka, dear still. Yes, Kolanka getting your mother. It's gender-based violence and committee then I want to say in the region. Then if you don't put them, because oh, driver police now. Visibility no crime makes you comport yourself. But if we don't have all these things, the laws are there. But we need its implementation. What does the Domestic Violence Act, even though the Act even says that the state should fund your medical bills, and that law has never been implemented.
Radio XYZ.
I don't want to be emotional, but that is the emotions that I work with. If you question now, the baby examined, we need government intervention. And we are all happy that we have His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as our leader now, fixing problems. But that area, ayakayaka dear hono, is very silent. The Ministry of Gender has a role to play. The Ministry of Education has a role to play. Otherwise, people will just be
cancer now can say 16 years near there. So doesn't mean say 16 years teacher in the kind what you say na ebi onena compema empemno ebi na akwa office near there. No 16 years the years consent.
We also have policies.
Radio
Policies
XYZ.
and principles. Many sure say the fact that we are boss not just a common worker, it's a recession or whatever. The fact that we are both now we are 18 years, and the fact that we knew now doesn't guarantee or allow me to have sex with you. We have ethics and there's some misconduct. No, then I'm going misconduct. I'm not sure anything so that you can read it verbatim. Because the way or your superior or your headmaster and probably a married man. Can you imagine? Into no mean quite bonting and compare and also the purpose of the child in the school is to learn. The girl is not the one nightclub boy. The child is to learn. Into the company you cannot transact business. The business on the point and not necessarily. And yes, maybe 8 years and I may more than 6 years. The person allowed is supposed to have sex with you. No, we are looking at the power play. So when you go into the issue of sexual harassment or sexual violence, you have a lot of these categories. The person is higher. If you know why you're vulnerable, it's like only a ubiquity of change. A boy, a house boy, and a house girl, and a madam. You don't need to do that, but girl need any power, no. So you go out there, take your match, but don't look at the vulnerable. Somebody who doesn't have any bargaining power. Come on. So ethics, every company must have a sexual harassment policy. No, then they can. So many students are trained already 18 years. But then I make a say, but if they agree, if there's some can't want them, the asema bar. Yamani now who, but asema bar, and now being said, this is the application of the law. But yes, application of the law, we are also looking at how can we prevent further occurrences of these issues. Otherwise, all the secondary schools, they're for rural communities. Community teachers say that, come on, it's a nice talk.
Yeah,
so let's put the system in place.
Recently,
so that the children can report these issues.
Yeah, recently, Educate Africa, the BB by, say, Omushimu Omaye, free senior high school, they acquire the tertiary level. Say a member warrior castle be at Nana Yerehua's uncle 76%. Umbeja school, community so any class are report no so.
Require the mini and family home, then I make an family home, but the money family home say. It shouldn't be a situation where the person will be forced to have sex. Or where the sex should be a demand, a sexual demand.
Yeah.
So my company be my bam media house say me person name ye adwuma me was similar case bi o wa me person me share one asem ka my company be a media house bi ni omo ko ye adwuma lawyer me rehin no afo you do a general manager ne dey sex tata me na afia na ma ba me be meeting na then sex we I am not here for sex. My year program we masterty program and you only say it's fine say me ni pa kona ndento me here 3-4 shows to say email free so which is okay. It could be so many reasons, a beautiful show. So the whole thing is that because they could have removed me for all the reasons, but because there is an incident of a sexual demand, so I'll base my way on it. That is why when you have a position, don't go beyond what you are supposed to
Radio
do.
XYZ.
So go elsewhere and look for sex or look for love. But why if it's confined in one place?
Yeah, problem be new. But some say elsewhere, you won't say 7 preduason, Emrano, emuya ding. Some of these things, ebia, once be and yet be breed to say the system. Is this a Emran Naya Guman as I say?
We need the political will. The Juma we send a many years for a Juma they even adopted my book for teachers. But when they hate the political with that, then they even frustrated. They even prevented my book to come out. Book will be right about knowledge on abuse and the legal and psychological implications. Because when you go through abuse, that is just a legal AU. It is an act of violence. It's a DNS, what are the legal implications on both on the offender or the perpetrator? Then we are looking at the victim, the psychological implications on the victim. So what that happens? Bipolar and all these things. And we don't just look at the victim. Sometimes people run a dream. Then the Bema headmaster, then the Bema we say this and that. I had the no one say Nipano personality disorder, which has been enabled for years. If they do more banks be or tell us they have a bank manager no money. They are able because they need their job. What I say, it's about time that we can't fix all the problems. But we must start somewhere and put in the education so that people can report. If they know that you can't do this, then why did they marry? Oh, worry, now we are men papa company to is a whole lot. Or judge penny, or a bishop penny, or a politician. Now we are in 90 a politician, the majority, our girl, Sumama, social media, so abandoned. Look at, so who are we going to? Our pastors are doing it, even our grandfathers are doing that. Who are we going to? So the issue of sex or sexual violence or sexual issues will continue, but we have to stop it right there. Okay. And it involves a good political leader. Me de say makate ni boaboa me ho. E me boaboa me ho. Se man ko papa jo mahama wa me ko e ma melody na mahama.
Radio XYZ.
Maybe there will be something that should be interested in what I'm doing. And we implement, we let me implement it. Because otherwise, over frame.
Yeah, that's a very recurrent.
Put in the policy, Ministry of Education do not put in the rules. Everything starts with education. Everything starts with education.
But Ministry of Education, so girl child education, something. Maybe so.
No, the area that involves what you are talking about is guidance and counseling.
Okay.
But they are not lawyers. What they are saying.
Nese omo counsel
in what they are doing.
The counsel and a command kwadano more than ebia empanifo omati egu omoso.
I know they not I see okay. But when we are talking about advocacy or ensuring that or the prevention of some of these acts of violence, it is primary prevention. You open say nipaninya nimdie na sana DNS say they need this. Say you never be education. They said that's been and so also you might find that's around too so that's primary prevention. Otherwise you so need to be could be a fee not be there not before the management of whatever disaster or whatever. So we look at the primary this country then started America and elsewhere we have primary advocacy and what be now me marry you know radio station gonna make and the sex that there be we put this on me only nyama to 2 million and say say only pa kun ya yakayaka dia should know a bit because the law doesn't even have provision for your treatment. They have to do so and one what the 2 years there might be truck driver be taxi driver be the 7 there might say send it not the question class na would they not say uber yes say job uber bre unisika they said so yes everything should go to the his excellency. Or they got the agenda about if anything, gender-based violence. It was beautiful. The reason why some of us we joined NDC and we campaign massively for NDC. In that area, and I'm hoping that I want if these things can fix society. Why not? And in the end, they fix society. In India, but every time you're frustrating me, you know what I mean, they say my bread, me are crowd. Into no, Emma Melody na Mahama, I'm very film. The mama says, we name the chief of staff because if we don't tackle this problem at the root level, the DI can't. And now it is very bad. Yeah. There is not a single officer, Merahino, for talking to. You should Google Merahino, you should know the person you are talking to. There isn't a single lady, for sex and kind of condition. Then I have to leave the whole thing. Why should everything be about sex? Why should I?
Yeah. Can't no pay I emotions no yeah that's it. Why you be follow near the chahre baby yes yeah that's it. Radio XYZ 93.1 FM Kwasem so lawyer Mary Ohinawa Afo private legal practitioner counselor and an opinion in komo na osi ade no nyankwala ne nko a baby abeko bia oba sa adwuma na apaya e be di kan de ade na to table so answer no akra as a lawyer nimfie so baby onyina du nyina
Radio XYZ
amanfo da so de ta no nti na 16 years de kono yes akoda no wo ho kwan ana se wadru baby asabi obetimi ne bema ehia nemum nhia mu nemu de ehina ye de hye no hye so na se ye de tata no ye de no abe condition e de ama no de ahi bia 7:44 ibeto aso de afia Radio XYZ 93.1 FM schools ahodo any senior high schools ahodo na bibi sa ekoso no mostly obekono na yewo bi acheche ni bia ono sa na ma we kotia pa ebe ngonwa so ne bedane sebi obonsam among them. Yes. Na enyambia so no yese code of ethics no ho a emu de hen so ena omugina de hen so ankasa ena ye adwuma. Well, anope sankita de ni nyina ho. Awa poma cheche kuda so ada obon kratem se na poso anope ye de ni nyina e de bro. Babia ye kan ho asem sisi e de anasa aba na ye se de nkomode no eye Okaja Senior High School yesi Oti region ena ho eho ena stores video no appear ja teacher ni ache akola team store them who team ne den Ghana Education Service anope say we mani atwa so obesi ajade aba video so na mo de mo hu bebre ne koso a no ma e o okay say ajade aba so ne kan ye kan e bia be fan say obi e kronfo na sebe de enche ne de ye de ekopai no ana say ye de ekoka chen say o kronfo de hu ne be di hu nkomo why